XRP 1200X Liquidation Multiplier. See, folks, we've been breaking down since November of 2024 how XRP has been climbing up off of so little of inflows. This is what has brought us to a data point which we call the market cap multiplier, where we're seeing, only tens of millions of inflows come into XRP in the spot markets, and it's equating to XRP's market cap growing by billions and tens of billions of dollars. And so on average, we've been tracking an XRP market cap multiplier anywhere from 100 to 200x on a regular basis, and sometimes even up to 300, 400, 500x, meaning that if a billion is flowing in, you're going to throw on a 100x multiplier. Now, just to give you a little bullish update, we're predicting 5 to 10 billion of inflows into the XRP ETF's first month. And if you just throw a 100x multiplier on that, we're talking XRP's market cap growing by 500 billion to $1 trillion. So you're looking at it's about at least a 10 to even $17 to $20 XRP on the high side if we get a $1 trillion market cap for XRP. Now, this also works on the way down, right? When money is flowing out of XRP and that order book is thin or getting wiped out in a historical liquidation event that took place yesterday, that multiplier can be very dramatic. And I'm going to show you during two time frames, the 1 hour time frame and the 4 hour time frame, where in both cases we saw a market cap multiplier on XRP, which was over 1,200 on the 1 hour time frame and the 4 hour time frame. So folks, this turned out to be, we tallied it up now, it was the largest liquidation event that we've ever seen in crypto. One of the largest liquidation events to ever take place in markets, period. And by the way, I think that some of these exchanges like Binance, not to throw anybody under the bus, but we got to call some of these guys out, probably only reported maybe half, maybe a little bit more, but did not report all of their liquidations. There's been reports that there was an API issue, so it might have even been worse, but the total tally was over $19 billion liquidated from the leveraged traders. Now, who made it out just fine? It's all of you guys, and myself included, that own our XRP and other assets without any leverage, right? I own 100% of my XRP without leverage. Now, I almost got liquidated yesterday, but I was able to save my trade. And I got very lucky because the market was being hammered right as the Coinbase futures market closes every Friday for 1 hour between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern. And that just happened to coincide when XRP dropped below $2 on some exchanges like Binance, all the way down to below $1 even is what I'm seeing some people reporting. And so I was able to add margin. I did have to sell off. I did not come out of this unscathed. I want to be transparent with you guys. I did not come out unscathed. I had to pull money from my bank account to cover margin. And I also did sell off some bags of XLM and HBAR to cover my margin. So I did not lose any XRP, but I did have to sell off some XLM and HBAR to cover my butt. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And so even though I'm using low leverage and I've had a lot of success trading, even I almost got wiped out, but I didn't. I did not get liquidated. And I broke that down in this morning's Discord weekly call if you want the full breakdown of how I was able to navigate that situation. So we're still in the game, but let's break this thing down, folks. Somebody got the inside tip. We have a whale on Hyperliquid, which placed over 23 million of shorts at 4:49 p.m. Eastern. All right, so this was right before the market just rug pulled. Exactly 1 minute later, President Trump announced 100% tariffs on China, leading to the largest liquidation in crypto history. Is this the best crypto trader of the year? Okay, so we joke about Nancy Pelosi and some of her stock picks. Somebody got the inside scoop from the Trump camp. I don't know. Maybe Barron and the boys made a bag. I don't know who this was, but somebody got the tip. And they also got the tip in World Liberty Financial, right? The token that's backed by the Trump family. World Liberty Financial, the ticker's WLFI. That also dropped by about 30% before the market fell out. Everyone is talking about the Hyperliquid whale. This is from Max Crypto on X. But very few are talking about the fact that the World Liberty Financial chart nuked 30% even before Trump's 100% tariff announcement. Someone got the news in advance and literally dumped his entire stash, or somebody was dumping bags of World Liberty Financial right before this took place, right? And so maybe watching the World Liberty Financial chart will give us a signal on what's coming next, right? We'll pick up a signal or an indicator wherever we can get. Nobody knew that this was coming, right? This level of liquidation. I gave a shout out to BC Backer in this morning's Discord weekly call. I'll reiterate that right here. BC Backer made a good call that nobody wanted to hear, was hated, a hated call. People were losing their mind over this call. Just one guy saying, hey, I see a pullback coming. I'm moving to 50% cash. So that turned out to be good, but I would say that even BC Backer, nobody predicted this level of liquidation event. I don't even think that most traders thought that this was possible. Now, once again, if you held spot, if you're not leverage trading, you were fine. You were just trying to buy the dip, and your only problems might have been those centralized exchanges, which were not getting your orders through. I spoke with the team at Caleb and Brown. Jim Bazzani let me know they were filling orders all day long. Whole team, all hands on deck, filling orders all day long. They're linked up down below. I also got good feedback from the community on I Trust Capital. They were also filling orders. And so, like I said, I give myself a couple options. We have community resources linked up down below to make sure that you have a couple options going forward. Because what's happening here and what took place is these order books got absolutely obliterated like we've never seen. This is Shaw Red on X. This crash exposed how thin centralized order books really are and how just a handful of players actually control the real order flow. They literally wiped out the entire order book on some of these coins. Atom went from $4 down to 0.001. SWE went from $3.40 to 56 cents. These just got, we've never seen anything like this. Top 100 blue chips nuked 75 to 80% in a few minutes. And it was a full drop of about 50% for XRP. Now, this brings us to the title of the episode, XRP 1200X Liquidation Multiplier. Let's break this down. If you guys haven't seen my market cap multiplier videos, go watch and go back and watch some of the basics. In this video, let me catch you up to speed real quick. We're tracking how much money's coming in or out of the asset. So we pull the net flows, right? So you either have net inflows if more money's coming in, or you have net outflows if more money's being pulled out of the asset. So of course, we had net outflows out of XRP, a lot of selling and cascading liquidations. And so we can now go back a day later here and look at CoinGlass, which is the website that I use to pull this data. And so we're going to start here by going to CoinGlass, and I'm over here on the, this is the spot inflow outflow chart. And we can see that during this 1 hour period, this was, this would have been this would have been about 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock my time. So it would have been 5 p.m. Eastern, between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern. This 1 hour period, you can see right here, 55.79 million of net outflows out of XRP. Okay, so that's how much money was pulled out of XRP during that 1 hour period. Now we go to the XRP market cap chart, not the price chart, the market cap chart. Now XRP, this is the 1 hour candle that we're examining. And I am showing you guys what the full swing was. So once again, we had 55.79 million of net outflows during this 1 hour period. And this candle wick took us all the way down here to 83 billion after we were up at 152 billion. So we lost, in this scenario, 69.97 billion of XRP market cap in 1 hour. In 1 hour, we lost almost 70 billion of market cap, but only 55 million was actually pulled out. Folks, I got my sticky note right here. What you do is you divide the change in market cap by the net flow, and that's going to give you a multiplier of 1,254x. This is one of the most dramatic multipliers that I think I've ever seen. I think it is the most dramatic market cap multiplier that I've ever observed since I've been doing this for just coming up on a year. I started to study the order books and these inflows and the multiplier in November of last year. Now, mind you, we tracked the multiplier in November of 2024 over the entire month was 883. And this is why I'm telling folks to stay excited and stay locked in on the first month of XRP ETF inflows, because in November of 2024, Trump gets elected, market starts pumping. The multiplier for that month was 883. This wasn't a 1 hour snapshot. This wasn't a 4 hour snapshot like I'm showing you right now. This was 1 month of data. 800x multiplier. Now back to this example. So in the 1 hour period from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, which just happened to be when the Coinbase futures market was shut down 1 hour every week, where the Coinbase perpetual futures shut down for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, just so happened to be when XRP dropped below $2, down to $1 or so on some exchanges. So I was able to cover my butt, thank God. Now we look at the 4 hour period. So we're going to go back to the cumulative XRP spot inflow and outflow chart here on CoinGlass. And what you're going to see during this 4 hour period right here is 64.87 million of outflows. Okay. So 64 million of outflows. Now we slide over to the 4 hour chart on the XRP market cap. And what we observe right here, right? This is the 4 hour candle right here. This candle started at 1 p.m. Pacific. So that would have been 4 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to go for 4 hours. During this 4 hour period, XRP's market cap started up here at 162 billion. Dropped all the way down here to 82 billion. A loss of 78.85 billion in XRP's market cap. So in this 4 hour example, we have 64.87 million of outflows. Our market cap loses 78.85 billion. This gives us a multiplier of 1,215. You can fact check me yourself with your calculator at home. I double check these numbers. So during the 1 hour period, we saw 55 million of outflows, 69 billion of market cap loss, multipliers 1,254x. During the 4 hour period total, you had 64 million of outflows, 78.85 billion of market cap loss. Multiplier is going to be 1,215. Now, why am I sharing this? Why is this so important? Because it works both ways. Everybody wants to pump content, and I am here to tell you that this sucker is going to pump. And this is based off of data, where we're seeing dramatic market cap multipliers on XRP going either way. And why does this happen? Going back to this post, it's because these centralized order books are so thin. You're looking at a handful of players that control the real flow of this market until you get institutional inflows coming in from ETFs. And then the game changes forever. We saw it take place for Bitcoin. It's going to happen for XRP, where you've seen over 60 billion of cumulative inflows into Bitcoin ETFs since their inception. And Bitcoin went from basically 25,000 in October of 2020, what would that have been, 2023, right? Just a few months before the ETFs went live in January of 2024. Bitcoin was at 25,000 a few months before those ETFs went live. And it went to 74,000 before the halving in March of 2024. And then now we just printed a new all-time high of 126,000 for Bitcoin just recently. Primarily driven by institutional demand, inflows coming in from ETFs. Well, guess what happened on Friday? While we're all crapping our pants over this largest liquidation event in the history of crypto, the suits were modifying and updating their S1 filings for the XRP ETFs. These suckers are absolutely ready to go. It's going to be signed, sealed, and delivered on the desk of the SEC. And as soon as the SEC comes back from the shutdown, they're going to start signing off. And those inflows are going to start coming in. And we're looking at conservative assumptions of 5 to 10 billion of inflows into the XRP ETFs in the first month. And if you just put a conservative multiplier on that, you're talking about market cap growth of 500 billion all the way up to $1 trillion on top of what we already have, achieved. So if XRP's market cap is at 100 billion, 200 billion, you're going to tack on an additional 500 billion to $1 trillion based off the first month of inflows using conservative assumptions, using a conservative market cap multiplier. 5 to 10 billion of inflows, multiplier of 100 to 200x. We are going to be having a party, not just the suits. And I've talked about this in my past few updates. The suits are picking out the champagne. They're picking out whose yacht to throw the party on. They're picking out the DJ and which songs to play for the ETF launch party for XRP and others. But specifically speaking to XRP, that's the one that's going to be setting records. And with this generic listing standard, it also sets the stage and allows BlackRock to slip in here. And of course, are they going to come in and buy at the market prices of, $3 for XRP and some of these other altcoins? No. They sacrifice the entire space. They're happy to do so. They kind of get off on it. This is what they live by. This is their code. Once you understand what they worship and how they play, then you can hedge yourself accordingly. They get off on sacrificing the masses, on hiding the best assets in plain sight. That's what is happening with XRP. This is why I own 100% of my XRP without leverage. I have the same amount of XRP that I had yesterday, same amount that I have today. This is how we ride out the storm. We're not going to get shaken out, and we are going to be showing up to that party with them. It's going to be happening. So I hope that you survived. I hope that you didn't get liquidated. I hope you still have your XRP and other good utilities, because the suits are going to be selling it with slideshow presentations for us. These things are going to new all-time highs. We just cleared the board, and we are ready to go and approach new all-time highs for XRP and many of these other assets. We needed this. Did it need to be this deep in the biggest liquidity event ever? It didn't need to be that bad. The cleansing that we just got was a little excessive, but overall, it's healthy, and the fundamentals haven't changed. In fact, you could say they just got better because we just moved one step closer to those ETFs going live with the S1 filings getting updated while the whole market's blowing up. Don't let them play you. Stay locked in. Keep on coming back here. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so we can keep you tapped in. Our community's not losing. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And I appreciate you guys for supporting the cause. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.